Imagine being seen by everyone as lazy, someone who would never make a difference. And what if, suddenly, your life changed in such a way that you had to prove the opposite? This is the story of Elias, a young man underestimated by his village, who discovered within himself an unexpected strength capable of transforming his destiny. In this modern fable, we will follow how an ordinary boy, often excluded from hard labor, found the courage to overcome his own limitations. What once seemed like a weakness turned into a virtue. And the way this happened may reveal how you, too, can overcome your greatest personal challenges. Stay with me until the end, because beyond hearing an emotional story, you'll discover the real secret to turning laziness into motivation and limitation into creativity. A lesson that not only changed Elias's life but can inspire yours. Get ready, this is a story of perseverance, intelligence, and hope. Summer arrived bringing an unexpected and relentless drought. The sun burned without mercy, and the village crops quickly withered. To make matters worse, Elias's father fell ill, unable to work in the fields. Suddenly, the entire responsibility of caring for the family and the harvest fell on the young man, who until then was only known for his laziness. Elias tried to help, but his lack of experience with hard labor soon became clear. His fragile hands blistered easily, his body tired quickly, and the days passed with little progress. Each plant that dried before his eyes felt like a cruel reminder of his failure. Little by little, the family's hope began to vanish. On a silent night, sitting beneath the starry sky, Elias reflected on everything. For the first time, he felt the weight of responsibility. He wondered if he would ever have the courage to change. And in that moment of pain, a new flame was lit within him, the urgent need to find a way out, no matter the cost. The next morning, a royal messenger arrived in the village bringing news of a special competition. The king was seeking creative solutions to help communities in times of crisis. The prize would be gold and public recognition. Strong and skilled villagers quickly signed up, but no one believed Elias would dare to participate. For many, it was nothing more than a joke. To everyone's surprise, Elias stepped forward for the challenge. Even without complete confidence, he felt this might be his only chance to prove he was more than the label of lazy he carried. He didn't just want to win the competition, he wanted to find within himself the strength to take care of his family and restore his dignity. While the other competitors sharpened their tools and laid out ambitious plans, Elias remained quiet. In his heart, there was a mix of fear and hope. He knew he couldn't compete with physical strength, but perhaps he could use his imagination. For the first time, he believed that his different way of thinking might actually become his greatest advantage. On the day of the competition, the participants gathered before the king and the entire community. Each one had to find a way to bring water to the dry fields. The strongest men rushed to dig deep wells, while others carried heavy buckets, trying to haul water from a distant spring. The effort was immense, but the results seemed too small for the need. Elias, on the other hand, stood observing in silence. He knew he didn't have the strength to compete the same way. Instead of giving in to despair, he studied the landscape around him. His eyes fixed on a small spring hidden among the rocks. That was when a daring idea began to take shape in his mind. Using pieces of wood, loose stones, and even his bare hands, Elias began to dig an improvised channel. While everyone else exhausted themselves with heavy tasks, he slowly directed the flow of water. The work was hard, but his creativity turned the impossible into reality. Minute by minute, the water advanced through the path he built, moving closer to the dry field. Suddenly, the miracle happened. Water flowed through the channel and reached the crops. The cracked earth began to drink the precious liquid, and hope was reborn before everyone's eyes. The murmurs of the crowd turned into shouts of joy. The impossible had been achieved, not by strength, but by the intelligence and determination of a once doubted young man. The king stood up, impressed, and declared that true greatness lay in using the mind in service of the common good. Elias not only won the competition but also earned the respect of the entire village. His father, deeply moved, smiled in silence, realizing that his once lazy son had finally found the courage to take responsibility. From that day on, Elias was no longer seen as a burden to the community. His story was remembered as an example of how creativity can transform weakness into strength. The lesson was clear: when we have a true purpose, even the most unlikely person can overcome their limits and change the destiny of everyone around them. If you were touched by Elias's story and learned something valuable about perseverance, don't let this reflection stop here. Subscribe to the Inner Journey channel, turn on notifications, and follow every new fable. Leave a like, share it with someone special, and help this message of hope reach even further.